Hello everyone and welcome in to another edition of Trewvizon Radio. I am your host, Awesome Al, along with my co-host and producer, Hooch.
Dig it, what's the business?
The business is, as always is, black on black crime, coronavirus.
Part 2.
Oh man.
Does Black Lives Matter to black people?
Do they?
Part 2.
Do they?
Scars of slavery.
That's the question we tried to answer on the first show, and I guess we'll try again on this one as well. Do black lives matter to black people? And if they do, how much they matter to black people? That's another question. That's another question. But first, let's talk about why we here.
National Federation of the Blind.
Yes, the National Federation of the Blind. This is the reason that Trewvizon Radio is here.
Oh, that's kind of funky.
Because that's how Trewvizon is. Stem from the National Federation of the Blind. If you are visually impaired or totally blind, or you know someone who is visually impaired and totally blind, and you want them to learn about their social, economical, and political rights as a blind or visually impaired individual, get in touch with your local chapter of the National Federation of the Blind. There are chapters in each state,
right,
with a national chapter in Baltimore, Maryland, and a local chapter here in Montgomery, Alabama, where Miss Parma Simonton is the president. You can get in touch with her by contacting nfbmontgomery.org or get in touch with the national chapter at nfb.org. So, shout out to NFB because we are changing what it means to be blind.
It's pretty much chapter in every city, isn't there, Mr. Awesome? The Awesome Boy.
There's a chapter not in every city, but
why not?
But here in Alabama, there's how many chapters? 6, I believe.
Wow.
Mobile, Montgomery, Birmingham, Huntsville, Talladega, Tuscaloosa. Those are the chapters here in the state of Alabama. So that's 6. I was right.
Man. Don't forget to share, like our channel is growing. Hit that Cash App.
Yes, please do hit that True Bucks Cash App and go to our email if you got some comments or suggestions or just want to say hello to Hooch and myself. You can do that at TrewVizonRadio@gmail.com. That's True, TREWVIZON Radio RADIO @gmail.com.
You take the good and the bad and the ugly. You might want to tell us just go to hell. I don't know.
You might.
We did get one email though, right? We got one, right?
Yes. We got one email. And, thanks for the brother that sent it to us. Gave us a good compliment. And shout out to him about a show that we did. Our first show, as a matter of fact, that was the email was talking about. And he gave us some good compliments on that show. So shout out to him. Now, let's go into our music moment.
What we got?
Today we're going to talk about Clarence Carter, Mr. CC himself. Clarence Carter, born in Montgomery, Alabama on January the 14th, 1936. His real name is, or his whole name is Clarence George Carter. You didn't know that, did you?
Didn't know that.
Yes, sir. Clarence George Carter graduated from the Alabama School for the Blind in 1957, but back then, of course, it was segregated schools, and it was called the Macmillan School for the Blind.
The Macmillan School, yeah.
Which was part of the Alabama School for the Blind. And then he went on to graduate from Alabama State in 1960 with a BS degree in music. Woo! So Clarence is educated.
Educated.
Clarence went on to start his music career in 1962 with a friend of his named Kevin Scott, and they traveled around throughout the South promoting Clarence music. And from 1962 to 1966, he was signed with Fame Records there in Muscle Shoals, Alabama, and he recorded with Fame. Then in 1966, he recorded a song that made a little leg way on the charts, but didn't do too much until 1968 when he recorded Too Weak to Fight, and that song hit number 2 on the R&B chart and number 13 on the pop chart. And then he recorded that same year Slip Away. Slip Away hit number 3 on this R&B chart.
A lot of babies made on that one. Slip Away.
Yes, sir.
I don't want to tell all your business.
And number 3 on the number 3 on the R&B chart and number 6 on the pop chart. And then his biggest hit is the one you hear in the background now, Patches. Patches hit number 2.
That was so raggedy. You gotta call me Patches.
Number 2 on the R&B chart, number 4 on the pop chart. And it also hit number 2 in the UK. It earned Clarence his first gold record in 1970. And that was Clarence's third million seller hit. The first 2, of course, were Slip Away and Too Weak to Fight. But,
really?
But Patches was his third million seller record that earned him a Grammy as well. So then Clarence went on to make hits throughout the 70s, and he's still touring now. As a matter of fact, he has an album that came out this year called Mr. Old School. So Clarence is still around. That's Clarence George Carter.
I remember having a conversation with Mr. Clarence about gigging with him in Seattle. Long story. But you would think, I thought, that's what I get for thinking, I guess. Stroking.
Yeah, you would think Stroking would have been one of his biggest hits, but unfortunately, Stroking did not hit the charts.
Everywhere we played, they never asked for Patches. It was always Stroking, or on the R&B tip, if we play in an R&B club, it was Slip Away.
Yeah, Slip Away was his first hit. So.
What about the Christmas record?
Okay, Backdoor Santa. Backdoor Santa hit number 4. I didn't know they had a Christmas music chart, but apparently they do.
Yeah.
So it hit number 4 on the Christmas music chart, and it was sampled by Run DMC in the song Christmas in Hollis Queen.
Wow, yeah, that was a good record for Clarence.
And speaking of Stroking, Stroking was also featured in the movie The Nutty Professor.
Sure was. And speaking of stroking, we still in this pandemic, and I am.
Now, what did the pandemic got to do with
I'm about to explain. I will be so.
I guess that's why the baby boom going on.
See, he's stealing my thunder, folks. Personally.
He says,
personally,
stroke,
I'm not trying to make no babies, but personally, I will be so glad when it's over with. So.
What, this pandemic?
Yes.
Well, I know you want to talk about stroking.
So I can get some strokes in after this pandemic. That's all I'm saying.
Well, that's our music moment on Clarence Carter. Now let's get back to the show. Thank you.
I'm struggling.
Yeah. But we're still talking about Black Hole, Black Cry. And hey, what do we do about it? Do you have any suggestions, Hooch, or what we should do about this?
We can't be silent. I guess to let people know that we have a problem is to recognize that we got one. I guess to let them know. Okay, to me, you have to go back to slavery, and I always talk about the scars of slavery.
Yeah, you always go back to the scars of slavery. I guess everything starts at home, so slavery started at home.
If you don't know you have a scar, then you're just gonna, just go out and just wild out, So that's all I see. I see scars. Those are those scars.
Well, see, scars have to be healed.
Yeah.
Now, some scars are permanent, and some scars are temporary. Now, is the slavery scar, is that a temporary a scar? Is that a permanent scar?
I mean, we all have them. I think it can be healed. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Our people are hard-headed. So I don't know. But if you got them, and if you got beef with another brother or sister that got those scars, at least you could do is aim right. You're killing children, like 7-year-olds, and 3-year-olds, and 4-year-olds.
Man, they're just shooting carelessly, recklessly, just shooting into crowds, basically. Wherever the bullet lands, unfortunately, it will hit a 7-year-old child, a 3-year-old child, a 1-year-old child.
Remember we were talking earlier about the brother that was they was trying to hang him?
Yeah.
Big guy. I mean, big black Jeffo Bodine looking brother. On the ground, submissive like, you know what I'm saying? Like, please don't hit me. Don't hit me, please.
Now, this had to do with black on black crime. How?
Well, I'm going to tell you, we talking about those scars. You see what I'm saying? I'm just saying, it's not, but it's about those scars. Because if it was somebody that's black was trying to do something ill to him like that, he would be fighting all day long.
Yeah.
But when a white man put his hands on you, it's automatically you just folding up. So,
Scars of slavery.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, where do you go? What do you do? This black on black crime is now, it always have been. It always has been black on black crime. It just now, like I said, social media is bringing all of this stuff into the forefront. In other words, the covers are being snatched off the bed. And when the covers are, when somebody surprise you and snatch the covers off your bed, and you're in there naked. So that's what's happening. Everything now is just naked. Everything is out in the open now because of this social media. This black on black crime has been around for a long time in Chicago, everywhere else. Los Angeles, especially Los Angeles. There were gangs in New York. There were gangs started from. So black on black crime has always been a problem. It just now it's becoming more to the forefront because of social media. What you think about that?
So you think social media is our problem? Why black on black crime is?
I think social media is exposing a lot of our problems.
Is that a bad thing?
No, because if we don't expose our problems, all they'll do is just stay there and manifest until we get what we got now. Out of control situation.
Yeah, 4th of July weekend was terrible.
Yes, it was. It was terrible in Chicago and other cities around the state.
Atlanta, New York, Philadelphia.
Roll that clip that you got and let's hear what's going on and what happened over the 4th of July with this black on black crime situation.
I thought that was it.
Some of these first responders, what are they telling you? What are their biggest concerns?
Well,
Well, you heard some of it. I mean, part of it is protecting the people who are closest to them. That one paramedic talking about protecting his son. One of the other paramedics I interviewed told me that 2 of her sisters had been diagnosed with coronavirus, and that even in her own family before they...
Now that's about coronavirus, which we will get to in a second.
Yeah, police just announcing those charges within the last few minutes here at police headquarters. 33-year-old Reginald Lamar Merrill of the west side of Chicago is now charged with first-degree murder in the killing of that 7-year-old girl on the 4th of July, standing outside of her grandmother's home playing when she was shot in the head. Police going into some detail about how they were able to make this arrest.
Immediately after this occurred, detectives went to work, and their investigation revealed, through the use of some video, they saw the white vehicle, and working with our SDSC rooms in the 15th district, once again, using technology, they tracked this vehicle all over the district, and they eventually got a license plate on this vehicle, at which point the SDSC room sergeant, working with the tactical officers, put a stop on this vehicle in a safe manner, at which point they arrested the individual in the vehicle.
Another violent weekend, deadly for far too many and far too young.
Jesus, help us, Father.
The grief-stricken family of 7-year-old Natalie Wallace shot in the head while playing outside in the yard of her grandmother's home in South Austin.
He got sucked. This killed. These are Anna's kids. She was only 7 years old. She smiles. She always tells me, I love you.
Hers is one of dozens of families impacted by shootings during the holiday weekend, a majority of them happening late Saturday into early Sunday. At least 87 shot, 17 killed, including 8 people shot in Inglewood at one time, at least 4 people killed among them, including Bernardo Jones Jr., who was just 14.
87 people shot is never acceptable.
Chicago's mayor and police superintendent today questioned on the strategy to flood streets with more than 1,000 additional officers for the 4th of July week.
Now, whew, you heard those numbers.
Yeah.
You heard those numbers. 17 people died over the 4th of July weekend in shootings around the country. Random shootings around the country. Black on black crime. That little girl you heard about that got killed, that 7-year-old little girl, that was in Austin, Texas.
Yeah.
So see, that tells you it's not just in Chicago, it's not just in New York or Los Angeles or Atlanta.
Makes you want to
It's
cry.
happening in cities like Austin, Houston, San Antonio. Everywhere there's a large black population.
See, we got this no snitching rule, you know.
Oh, well, yes.
You gotta get rid of that.
You get stitches.
Yeah, also get ditches.
He said that, I didn't.
You know? That's what we getting anyway, ditches.
Yeah.
Duh, you know?
Yes. Ditches that's 6 feet.
Yeah.
Because ditches become graves. And that's what's happening. Young people are dying to black on black crime, gun violence. Not to the police, not to white people in general, but we are dying at the hands of our own. How do we stop this? How do we clean up this? How do we make this world safe, or make this country safe for our children to go outside and play anymore? Back when I was growing up, you go outside anywhere and play, basically. But I grew up in the country now, but even in the cities were much safer back then than they are now. What happened?
Oh no. We not speaking up. We we don't want to do. I think, brother Al, that we don't watch how we talk to one another as a people. Just kicking it like it is. I was listening. What do you say to someone that says black on black crime is not as high as we think it is?
Well,
what do you say to somebody like that? That we don't really have a problem that more white people kill each other than blacks. What do you say to that?
What you say to that is, I would say, well, maybe you need to research some more. But see, they don't believe in the research because, they think that the research is coming from white media. So, as the research is coming from white media, they're gonna make the numbers look higher than what they are. That's what some people think. When you talk about black on black crime and you read these numbers and you read these statistics of 80% of crime that happens or 80% of murders that happen to black people come from the hands of other black people. And you go, hey, how can that be right when white people kill white people too? Hispanic people kill Hispanic people too. So you question those numbers and say, where's this source is coming from? I mean, is this coming from white America trying to inflate numbers so we can murder? Or make it look that way so black people look as savages and as killers?
Well, how can you say, if that's true, then what do you say to what we just witnessed a minute ago in the clip?
What do you say? What do you say to people who have had their loved ones struck down by a bullet?
They're not actors. That's real stuff.
They are not actors. Those are real people. So what do you say to people who have had a loved one killed by a stray bullet from another black person's gun? Do you stop black people from bearing arms? What do you do? Because if you do, you taking away their Second Amendment as well.
Pretty much.
So what do you do? Do you stop black people from bearing arms?
Those are not black people, those are niggas.
Well, do you stop niggers from bearing arms?
How do you stop niggas? Just gotta cut their arms off.
So, unfortunately...
And I don't like using the N-word, I really don't, but it is what it is.
You said it freely, but but the thing is, even though they are the N-words, they still have the same right as you do, unfortunately. So,
those guys don't, whoever shooting, I'm pretty sure don't have license to carry.
They probably don't. I mean, most of these guns are coming from underground, probably.
You gotta look at who's the distributor.
Well,
I believe you can buy a gun in bigger cities, inner cities. You can get them in any convenience store.
And you mentioned that before on the other show, and you said without a background check.
Right. Yeah.
So that means that, as I said before, Pookie can walk into a store and buy him a gun, even though he probably just came out of prison for murder. Murdering somebody.
I hate to keep saying the same thing, but you got to go back to the root. Why are they out seeking, refuge and other people who they don't know? And why would you want to join a bunch of guys in the first place? Why would you want to be around?
Brotherly love, brotherly love, fatherly love.
Stop having babies without saying I do. If he didn't love you, he's not gonna love anything coming out of you.
Now that's a good that's a good topic. I heard this on the radio the other day about, there's a lot of black families where, the mother and father of children are not married now. And there's a big majority of that. So, but that just not happen either.
We're gonna have to restructure our community. You're right about that. You're definitely right about that. And don't forget to hit the like button and share like. This is Trewvizon Radio. That's TREWVIZON, ladies and gentlemen. And
that's right. Go to True Bucks and to our app to fund us. We need the funds here at Trewvizon Radio because we want to get back into our main studio and build up with new technology to where we could go live and we can have you, our listening audience,
call in
via YouTube right now, but our listening audience will, we will be live.
Yeah.
And you can call in
and cuss Al out.
Yeah, you can cuss Hooch out. Tell them how handsome you think he is.
Shut up. That stuff gets you in trouble.
And how ugly I know he is. But anyway.
Does Black Lives Matter? Not tonight.
But yeah, hit that Cash App so we could build up Trewvizon Radio with our T-shirts and sweatshirts in the wintertime and hats and caps and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because
see the future, huh?
Yeah.
Dig
Trewvizon.
Yep.
That's our Trewvizon. But yeah, do that. Hit that Cash App, Trewbucks, TREWBUCK, $ in front of Trewbucks.
I think black people also try to heal and create jobs and opportunities for our young brothers and sisters. We need a community grocery store.
Well,
in a cultural learning center.
We could do that. But black people were suckered into this thing in the last election because they thought the president, who was a businessman, was gonna bring more black business to Black America just because he's a businessman. Now, has that increased? I don't know. Has it? Who?
Only thing increased with him is his stupidity.
Well,
that's
I'm
the
not
only
going to
thing.
make a comment on it.
That's the only thing increased.
But I'm talking about, has jobs increased?
No.
For black people?
In the beginning, I fell for it, for the lie, It's not true. Not true. Matter of fact, I think a lot of his businesses has went bankrupt, right?
Yeah, a few of them, yeah.
So, plus, he was inherited the money, really.
But my thing is, how can you fall for somebody and say they're going to build up jobs in the black community when he don't hire black people in his hotels for management and stuff like that? So how can you say?
What are you trying to say?
So how can you say that this man can bring jobs to the black community? Because if that was the case, he would have did that when he wasn't president. He had jobs to bring, to give.
What about Omarosa? That just one.
Yeah, but look how long she was there.
Okay. I was trying to help.
You coughed one time and she was gone.
They pretend I didn't know anything.
And look what happened when she came out of there.
Yeah.
And so she tried to discredit the man and say he was this and he was that. But when before he became president and she was on his side, he was the best thing since sliced bread.
Of course.
So look, So all that made her look like is a
Bed wench.
yeah, and a scorned black woman. So,
Yep.
and when a scorned black woman is scorned, they can do or say anything
Pretty much.
to try to discredit you. I don't care what color of a man you are, black, white, or whatever. They coming after you. But that's a different story. But anyway,
Yeah.
that's a different topic that we might have later on
Does
down
Black
the line.
Lives Matter to black people?
Yes. Do they? With all of these shootings going on and all of these killings going on black on black crime all across America.
What can we do to at least bring that 88% to 58? What can we do?
What about just 8? What about 0?
Wishful thinking. I have to flatten the curve.
All right. What do we do? Well, we already said it starts at home. Everything starts at home. We got to build a better home structure for young black men and young black women. So, if you build a better home structure, what comes out of the house will what be,
I say get on the females about producing children like that, because they, like I said, they go out not being loved, because they just, having the kid just to trap that guy,
Sometimes it happens that way.
It's a lot of times.
Sometimes it doesn't.
It's a lot of times.
What's the percentage of it?
It's high. It's pretty high. You used to work for DHR, so you know.
Now, the
You
ladies
know.
that came in, yeah, I did used to work for DHR, and most of my clients were single black women.
Don't get me wrong, we need strong black families, but we need families. We don't need baby mama, baby daddy, kind of that stuff is dead in the water. But yeah, you
Right.
know so well.
That's what I was saying. You got to restructure the family. You got to build a strong family foundation within the black community. That you got to instead of these single parent homes where the mother is the parent.
I think gangs can turn it around to a money-making situation, meaning positive. You don't have to sell drugs to get what you want. Like I said, the Bloods and Crips the original state was not gangbanging. You know what I'm saying? It was about protecting the community.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
That's what they started out as.
So I challenge you on whatever your interest, is. You guys should get together and get your money together and push that on a positive tip, so you can really be an asset to the community instead of a defect.
That's right. You can be an asset to the community instead of a defect, as you
And you can
said.
start right now by donating to Trewvizon Radio.
What a segue.
$TREWVIZON. Trewvizon Radio.
What a segue. Yeah, contact us at.
I learned from the best.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
I was looking in the mirror.
Well, but yeah, send us your emails, comments, suggestions. Trewvizon Radio, TREWVIZON radio at gmail.com.
It's gonna be a short show because we got to get Punch next week, right? We got to get some special guests next week.
Oh yeah, we're gonna get in some special guests next week, and we're gonna talk about this subject more in depth. But before we leave, I'm gonna give you an update on this coronavirus because it's still around.
Oh yeah,
it's not going anywhere soon.
Yeah.
I mean, wear your mask, wear your gloves, wash your hands, whatever you got to do to stay safe from this virus. Please do that because the cases are growing. I mean, tremendously.
And,
because as I read here from this paper I got in my hand talking about coronavirus, the total in Alabama of people who have the virus right now in Alabama is almost 50,000 people.
Whoa.
50,000 in the state of Alabama has the virus or has been diagnosed with the virus. Here in Montgomery, it's getting close to that 5,000 mark.
Damn.
So
It's like how many people died already here in Montgomery? That much. That many.
The last time I checked, it was a significant amount. It was pretty close to about
1,000, right?
1,000 people. But that was in the state of Alabama, about 1,000. So it's just phenomenal of how this virus is growing. Here in Montgomery, since yesterday, it has been over 200 people added. And around the state since yesterday, the numbers are just, since yesterday, 2,000 people have been added. Since yesterday. 2,212, as a matter of fact.
So, with that
69 has been added here in Montgomery County since yesterday. So,
cases, right?
yes, cases. New cases. So, this virus is still growing tremendously.
I think it should be mandatory testing. Testing should be mandatory.
It should be. There are some lawmakers here in the state of Alabama that they want all school kids to be tested before they go back to school.
Now that's a scary
This
situation.
fall.
Children going back to school.
Yes, that is a scary situation because here in Alabama, we don't have enough teachers as it is.
Matter of fact, I think they're going to make it legal where teachers could bear arms in the school system now.
Well,
That's scary too.
see now as teacher bearing arms, I'm going to tell you, with this virus thing going on, this bearing arms issue, it's almost taken a back seat because we're talking about bringing kids back to school to a school system that might be infected with the virus.
Then you're going to have more shootings, I think, in school. It's already enough.
Why? Because of the virus?
Not just that, but tension. People are not making money anymore. So the country just needs to be stimulated at least 8 months to a year, I believe. But the Senate is on vacation, right?
Yes, but they will be back Monday.
Where the hell are they going?
They will be back Monday off of vacation, and it's several bills that the House has been working on while the Senate been on vacation. The House has been working. Now, they're gonna produce these bills or introduce these bills to the Senate. Now, we all know every bill that the House introduced to the Senate does not get support, especially in the Republican Senate. And these bills are coming out of the Democratic House. Now, instead of Congress working against each other, with this situation, they should be working together because this country is going to need support from the White House on down to Congress, on down to state, local, city government. And that's gonna start right there in the Senate, in the Congress. They create the laws. They create the laws.
So what are your predictions? What are you hoping for?
As far as what?
Reparations, how much and how long?
reparations.
I'm sorry, not reparations. I'm ahead of the game.
Stimulation.
Yeah, stimulus. Yeah.
I'm hoping
I'm thinking about my record. I just did reparation.
I'm hoping for, and I know this is a long shot, but if they would give $2,000 for the next 6 months, at least to the end of the year.
Yeah.
If they would give everybody $2,000 at least until the end of the year. Now I heard that it was going to be a new cap on how much you can make and receive a stimulus check. Last time a single person could receive could make up to $85,000 a year. But now, I think the Senate Majority Leader, which is Mitch McConnell from Kentucky, he is speaking of only $40,000 per year for a single person. So, if you make up a $40,000 a year, and you made it last year, you're not going to get a stimulus check.
So now you got to go out and rob them.
If Mitch McConnell has his, have his way.
Do you think people in high places, they're really comfortable, easy to forget what's going on in the world?
Yeah, because they don't have to deal with it. If you got money, you don't have to deal with poverty. You don't have to deal with, you really don't have to deal with racism because rich folks only see one color, and that's green.
So I'm ready for my record to be released so I can get the hell. But they're gonna have to deal with it because if you put blinders on, sooner or later, that heat is gonna come to you. Don't you think?
Yeah, because if this virus keep going on, rich people are going to have to give up more of their money. And they're going to have to give it up to the rest of the nation. That's the way I feel because Congress look like they're not going to keep going in giving out more money. Because they're going to claim it's just ruining the deficit. The budget, creating a bigger hole.
Canada is receiving $2,000 ever since it started, every month, right?
Canada has always been, and I'm gonna tell you
a
again,
socialist society.
It's a socialist society. And they always have taken care of their individuals.
Well, we're gonna have to switch lanes real quick.
Even with healthcare,
we're gonna have to switch lanes real quick because we're hurting.
Well.
So
do that.
Your prediction was almost like mine because I think you stole my prediction. The stimulus package. I was thinking 8 months to a year, $2,000.
Hell, if they give us $2,000 a month for, like I said, for the next 6 months, probably by then there would be a vaccine created for this thing. And
you're still not getting that $2,000 back.
Under control.
Yeah.
But yeah, $2,000 a month.
I'm cool with
will
it.
help out a lot of people. Yeah, even if they did $1,200 a month for the next 6-8 months or 1 year, that'll still be good. And also, if you still give people $500 per child.
It'll be a good move for Donald Trump, if he's trying to be reelected, which he really don't have a snowball chance.
We all know that's not coming from the Donald.
But can you be bought? If he was to do $2,000, what if he did? What if it's $3,000 for 8 months to a year?
And you talking about what?
Would your vote be
that buy
different?
my vote?
Yes.
No.
Well, he might give me I might scratch my head.
No.
I might do some scratching.
That would not buy my vote because That's selling your soul to the devil. Excuse me. No.
So a devil. I thought devil had red hair. He got orange.
Yeah, well, devil come in all disguises.
Playing color games on Legally Blind people.
But anyway,
We gotta get the hell out of here, man.
yeah, we do. Thank you for joining us today on True Vision Radio. I don't know.
I didn't say that, Dawn.
We might be shot when we get outside, but but anyway, thank you for joining us on True
Does
Vision
orange
Radio.
hair matter?
Not according to him. But anyway, thank you for joining us on True Vision Radio. And remember to go to the Cash App at Truebucks, and then our email at truevisionradio@gmail.com. This has been Awesome Al, even along with my co-host and producer, Hooch.
Peace.
And I hope this will not be the last time for us. Stay safe. Stay safe from the virus. Wear your gloves. Wear your mask. Wash your hands.
Hand sanitizers in all your bags, purses, and stick bags, musicians, and guitar cases. Pack them in everywhere. I know women are already straight.
Yeah. Do it all. Until we be blessed again. Take care, everybody.